Fame US Animation and Films, in collaboration with Universal CMG World Entertainment, is proud to present Keytona, Love at First Heist. Let's get started. Meet Keytona, an attractive, perceptive, and courageous U.S. Marshal who makes very few mistakes, except when it comes to choosing the right men. Now David, a criminal with a complicated past, is trying to get his life back on track, but is entangled with a very persuasive, vindictive, controlling, yet attractive ringleader named Sylvia. Now David has a hidden secret, but is willing to risk it all to find out if there's more between him and Keytona. It's a brisk Friday evening, and Keytona's new assignment is to go undercover at a museum gala that is showcasing a historical crown jewel worth more than $1.5 million US. She arrives in a gorgeous red gown designed by the Italian designer Joyce Stratton herself. As she enters the gala, she instantly senses someone looking at her. She gazes over her left shoulder, and to her surprise, she sees a handsome gentleman from across the room. They are entangled in each other's eyes. Now what David doesn't realize is that Keytona's eyes are known to tame the savage of beasts from all creation. David abruptly excuses himself from his companion and walks over to ask her to dance. As Keytona was about to answer, the lights suddenly go out. When the lights appear, the crown jewel was missing, and so was David and his companion. The next day, Keytona cannot get David out of her head as she gets dressed for a busy day at the precinct. When she arrives, she quickly finds a computer to do some research. As she looks through the database of criminal photos to see if she can find any clues, to Keytona's surprise, she sees David and his companion Sylvia on the screen as wanted criminals. They are wanted for alleged jewelry heists in over 3 states. Keytona cannot believe it. Keytona feels there is more to the story than meets the eye. Keytona is approached by her sergeant with a lead on the case. They may strike at a royal ball where there is another rare necklace worth $4 million being worn by the Duchess of Zoya. Keytona asks 3 of her fellow female marshals to accompany her for backup. They all arrive at the ball together with dresses of the utmost sophistication. She is a little parched and quickly grabs a glass from the waiter. She sees David across the room once again with Sylvia. David looks extremely on edge, almost like he wants to say something, but he's too afraid. The Duchess is leaving the main ballroom, heading towards the balcony, escorted by her bodyguard. David and Sylvia follow cautiously behind. Keytona hears a loud thump, and the Duchess screaming. Keytona and her team abruptly run towards the balcony. She sees Sylvia running in one direction with a gun and the necklace, and David wrestling with the bodyguard. David is aggressively apprehended. Keytona introduces herself to the bodyguard and states she's got it from here. Meanwhile, her team chases Sylvia and repeatedly yells for her to halt. Since Sylvia refuses to respond, the team decides to open fire. Sylvia suddenly gets hit in the shoulder, which causes her to stumble and release the precious necklace. Sylvia is finally apprehended and taken to the precinct. Back at the precinct, Keytona interrogates David, accompanied by a polygraph machine. David tells Keytona he was blackmailed by Sylvia to help her. She reviews the polygraph for confirmation and sees there is no movement. He is telling the truth. David goes on to tell Keytona that he felt a connection to her from the first time he laid eyes on her. It checks out on the polygraph, as well as the needle did not even flinch. David also says he has slashed thousands in an offshore bank account for when he finally gets away from Sylvia. Keytona tells David he would have to serve some prison time for his actions, but she will be around when he gets out. Keytona escorts David to prison, and they sadly part ways. Incarceration can be very scary and lonely, to say the least. To pass the time, David writes letters to Keytona every week to air out his thoughts and emotions during this tough time. Keytona reads and responds to every one of them. 3 years later, Keytona is awaiting on David's release from prison. She sees David and welcomes him with open arms. They quickly embrace each other with a kiss. David and Keytona jump in the car and ride off to a quiet place to spend quality time. Conclusion. Life is full of many obstacles and unforeseen circumstances that could cause you to question your decisions. Keytona wants you to know that it's okay. If you surround yourself with people who care about you, stay grounded in what you believe, and follow your heart, everything else will fall in place, and you will be living your best life possible.